Hello everybody, this is Chris Callahan, also known as Mr. C, and today we're going to look at removing the guard. If you've been playing chess for a while, you've probably gotten pretty good at finding captures. When you are looking at a chess position, you turn on a little capture finding machine in your brain and it starts looking for pieces that you can take and also pieces that can take you. The other thing that machine probably looks for is whether or not captures are a good idea. If you take a piece and it's free and that's the end of the story, you just take something and that's it, then that sounds pretty good. However, if you take that piece and then something takes you, well, then maybe it's not so good. Here's an example. Let's turn on our capture finding machines. The first one that my machine finds is knight takes e5. However, that doesn't look like a very good idea because black has that pawn protected by the knight on c6. If I take that pawn, I lose a knight, and trading my knight for a pawn is not a very good trade. What other captures do we have? Well, we also have bishop takes c6. Again, this one's not as bad as taking on e5, but black would just take back, and I traded a bishop for a knight. Bishops and knights are about the same, so nothing much happening there. Some of you may already be figuring out the point I'm about to make, but I'll go ahead and make it anyway. What if we took this knight first, and then black will take back, and again, that's not much. But then I can take the pawn on e5. Because you'll recall the reason that it was a bad idea was because there was a knight on c6. If there's no knight on c6, then it's a fantastic idea. It's a free pawn. This is a removing the guard tactic. Okay, we say that the knight is guarding the pawn, and we don't want to take it while it's guarded, so we remove the guard. And after there's no guard to worry about, we can take the piece for free. Here is a similar position. Again, I have a knight aiming at e5 and a black knight stubbornly defending it, ruining all my plans. And this time, I don't have any way to take this knight. But do we give up? No, of course not. We don't need to take the knight. We just need it to not be on c6. So the winning move in this position is pawn to b5, attacking the knight. And black's not going to lose their knight. They will move it somewhere to save it, right? But then after it moves, I get a free pawn. Crunch. You need to get into the habit of looking for things like this. The thought process for many players is they see the capture on e5, they get a little excited, oh, I can take a pawn. And then they see that the knight can take back, and they go, oh, well, forget it. That doesn't work. We got to find something else. But don't give up so easily. If we can find any way to trade this knight off, make it run away, get it out of the picture, that will be a free pawn. If you start thinking in those terms, you will very often find a way to remove the guard. Okay, so we need to practice these things. You will be playing white, and your job is to find a way to remove the guard. I'll let you think for a moment. What would you play in this position? Pause your videos if you like. Well, what are our captures here? What do we got? We could take the queen, but then this knight would just take back, and it's a queen for a queen, not a big deal. We also could take this knight, but that is also just a trade of a bishop for a knight, which are two pieces that are more or less the same. The correct answer is we take the knight first, and with the knight gone, that is now a free queen. I want you to notice a small detail. This whole thing is very close to not working. After the bishop takes the knight, if black could just ignore that and trade queens, then maybe he would be okay. Unfortunately, taking the queen is not a legal move because this is check. Oh, the little things make such a difference. Here's another exercise for you. You're playing white. Remove the guard. I'll give you a moment to think. Pause your videos if you like. Well, what is our capture here that we would like to play but can't? There is a bishop right there, and it would really be a much better move taking the bishop if it wasn't protected by the queen. So we have our public enemy number one. We have our piece that we need to get rid of. How are we going to get rid of this queen? How do we make her go away? What about rook to c5? Yep, this is the winning move. The queen is attacked. You're probably not going to win the queen, but after the queen moves away to wherever it goes, there is a free bishop on a4. Our last exercise is probably the most famous removing the guard tactic ever. This is from what's called the opera game, which is a game of chess played by Paul Morphy, who was the best chess player in the world about 150 years ago. And he played it during the intermission of an opera. I won't get into too much detail about the game, but it's white to move, and I'll help you out a little bit. I'll give you a hint. If this knight were not here, we would have the move rook to d8 checkmate. So whatever we have to do to get rid of the knight is worth it because we win. If that knight isn't on d7, we win. So do whatever you have to do to get the knight to move. I'll let you think for a moment. Pause your videos if you like. Well, the answer is a spectacular move, and it is queen to b8 check. Okay? Black will surely, it's the only move, take this queen with the knight, and that is a free queen. That's a queen sacrifice. What a beautiful move. And with the knight gone, we play rook d8 checkmate. Well, this seems like a good moment to end the video. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you will be able to find some guards to remove. Goodbye.